Hello and welcome to today's video. I have a lot of pens to show you. This might be a slightly longer video, but I'm not going to go into every pen in great detail. I wanted to show you my Lamy pen collection today. Over the years, I've collected a lot of Lamy ballpoints, rollerballs, fountain pens, the sort of the gamut, and this is by no means a complete collection. This is just what I have and what I use. So what I thought I would do is I'd run through the models I have, give a little thought on each, and then do a writing sample with a ballpoint, a rollerball, and a couple of the fountain pens. So let's start with the ballpoints. Now, Lamy ballpoints I think are great daily drivers. I'm not the biggest fan of the refill, but I do love the pen models. The pen refill tends to be, I don't know, a little bit tacky or just not the nicest ballpoint refill, but they do write reasonably well. So what we have here is the Noto, a Pico, and this is their sort of pocket ballpoint pen where you push it and it sort of extends out to a full-size pen. I've got two Safari ballpoint pens, and you'll see through this video I'm a big fan of the matte Safaris, not so much the glossy ones. And then I have two Lamy Zevo ballpoint pens. These I really like. This form and function, that sort of triangular body, I really enjoy. By the way, I should say, I've reviewed a number of these across the range, so you can search my channel for reviews of a lot of the Lamy pens. Then we've got a range of the logos. I'm going to start here. So we've got the brushed stainless steel logo, the regular stainless steel logo, and then three logo plus. So I've got the dark blue, the rubberized blue, which I don't know if that one's for sale anymore, and then the white with the gray finish. I really like the logo. This is where I started with Lamy. I find them to be robust and, nice enough in the hand and super, super convenient. But we'll come back to a writing sample with these. I just wanted to show them because this is my Lamy collection. Now we get into rollerball territory. Once again, I've got the Terra Red rollerball here. I used to have the charcoal rollerball as well, but I sold that. Actually, I've sold a number of my Lamy pens over the last couple of years. So had I kept them all, my collection of now over 50 would have probably been closer to 65 or 70 Lamy pens. But as I said, starting with the Safari rollerball, which I enjoy enough. I use it regularly. I think it's a rollerball that does the job, but I like the fact that it's capped. I really like the Swift here. The Swift is a retractable rollerball, and I think it's a really, really great pen. And I love that blue. I think it's absolutely stunning. Then I have three typos or typos, whichever one you want to say, in different colors. This is a pen model that I know they revised and they put a new sort of mechanism and clip and stuff on it. I think that was a great move because it's made this a really interesting pen and a really great option if you want a retractable rollerball. Okay, now we land in fountain pen territory, which is where my real interest is with Lamy. Starting here, this is the ABC. This is the beginner fountain pen from Lamy, and it comes with a regular steel nib. I've replaced the A nib that came on this with a regular medium. This is just a fun little pen and one I wanted to explore just for my own purpose. And then we have the Nex. Now the Nex is designed as the next step beyond the ABC and sort of into the Safari land. This is a pen I really love. This was my workhorse pen for a number of months at work. I had it on a lanyard and I really, really, really love this pen. I love that rubberized grip. I love everything about it. I think it's just a beautiful, beautiful pen. And yeah, I don't understand why the Nex isn't more popular. Now, before we talk about Safaris, I'm going to talk about All-Stars. And as I said, I had a number more of these over the years that I've sort of sold or given away. But this is where my collection currently sits. So this is the Petrol from a couple of years, or last year I think it was, the Pacific, the purple black, the bronze, the copper, the white silver, which I think is actually really beautiful. Like, I think that's actually quite lovely. And then two more standard run ones, the all black and the ocean blue. On the all black, I have put a LX nib in broad, which I really love. This was the pen that really re-kickstarted my fountain pen hobby. I was gifted it, and that it was a landslide from there. I mainly use the ones on the ends here. I really like the ocean blue and the black, of course, and then the Pacific is a bit of an everyday carry pen for me. And then the petrol is my most recent one, and one that I think is absolutely fabulous. I think it's a great color. I was really impressed when they brought that out. But those are the All-Stars. They are the metal version of the Safari, basically. Now, I've done a comparison of those two pens on my channel, so you can check that out. But now let's start looking at some Safaris. Okay, let's start with these few Safaris here. First, I have this one, which is my Frankenfari, where I've taken elements from a range of different Safaris and put them together to make something unique, which I really quite like. I use this as my size comparison on my reviews quite often. Then there's this version, which was, I think, was a limited edition into Japan for a while, or a Japanese exclusive, and then brought it into Australia. It doesn't have the typical cross on the top, and it's got a unique trim. I haven't even used this yet. It's really lovely. I just haven't had the need for it yet. And then I have two gloss Safaris. The yellow here, which is a bit of a workhorse, and the blue, which is just, once again, a color I really, really love from Lamy. I think this is a great color combination. It's got a nice extra fine nib on it. The Lamy extra fine nibs are really great. They're not as broad as other extra fine, so it makes them really great everyday writer pens, and that allows me to, sort of use them with different paper and ink and all that kind of stuff. And then lastly, I have my Vista, which I really like. I should use this more. On this one, I've actually put the A nib from the ABC fountain pen. Because I wanted to have all my nib options available on Safaris for a video I did recently where I compared all the range of nibs. So that's where that was. And this is just my first part of my Lamy Safari lineup. Okay, here I have my matte Lamy Safari collection. There's some standard colors here, and there are some special edition colors, but most of the nibs that are available are here. Starting with the dark lilac, which was the 2016 special edition, which I just have with the regular medium nib. One of my favorite pens. Always love that pen. Then this is where the nibs begin. So here on the cream, I have an extra fine nib. I actually replaced it with a black nib as opposed to the steel nib. I think it looks great. I have a fine on the all black, a medium on the petrol, another one of my favorites. The broad here on the strawberry, I got this one when I had COVID for the first time. So nice little memory there. And then on the candy ones here, or on the three bright color ones, I have the calligraphy nibs. So I've got a 1.1, a 1.5 millimeter, and then the 1.9. They don't get a whole lot of use, but as I said, I did a big nib comparison where I had them all inked up. Now, I hit these are my two favorite colors, I think, probably of the Safari, as well as the dark lilac, of course. On the Terra Red, I have an MK nib, which is a Mittelkugel, or medium ball, which is a German nib, a bit like the beginner's nib. Then I have a left-handed nib here on the Savannah Green, being a left-handed writer, of course. Then I think it's this one. Yeah, we have the Chinese calligraphy nib here on the charcoal. And then back to a regular medium nib here on the new Pink Cliffs pen from this year. I love the exterior color of this. This blue-gray is stunning. Not a big fan of the pink section, although I don't mind it in the top. It's an odd choice. And Lamy will be releasing new matte Safaris this year, and I will definitely be adding those to my collection, but this is where it stands right now. I should also say I have a second Terra Red here with an extra fine. This is really one of my workhorse Safaris that gets taken around with me, and it sort of lives with the Rollerball and Ballpoint versions of this pen as a bit of a trio in my pencil case, and these are ones I will be doing writing samples with today. Okay, now we get into my top tier of my Lamy collection. Now, the one of these that I'm probably missing is an Emporium. I don't have one. It's not a pen model that jumps out at me. I can see why people love it. It just doesn't jump out at me. But starting here, we have an Ion, and the Ion is a big pen. It's actually one of the biggest Lamy pens going around, and it's an interesting one and one that I quite enjoy, but just don't find myself inking that much. Then we have the CP1 and the logo, and I'll show these together. These are two very slim pens, and they're quite similar. They post in a similar sort of way onto a little posting knob on the end of each, and they take the standard sort of Lamy Safari style nib. Beautiful writers, nice and good for things like sketching and stuff like that. And people who love slim pens particularly love that CP1. Now, one of my favorite Lamy pens is the Studio, and this version, the All Black LX, is absolutely gobsmackingly beautiful. It's got, once again, got that LX nib on it here in a fine. It's just a beautiful pen. I've had a couple of other Studios as well that I sold off. I really like the pen model, but I particularly love this one with that rubberized grip that the LX has. I think the metal grip on some Lamy pens are their biggest downfall, and that is probably one of the biggest things I have to say about the Scala, that glossy section. It's a nice enough pen. I quite like the look and the design, but that glossy section just doesn't do it for me. Probably one of, in my opinion, the biggest misfires from Lamy was introducing the Idios. This pen is overpriced and doesn't really have a lot to say. It's got an interesting sort of teardrop shape, which allows for a nice, interesting grip. But once again, metal grip section, steel nib, same nib as the Ion, which is slightly different to the Safari nib in the fact that the wings sort of shoulders sort of bow out. But a ridiculously expensive pen for what it is, I think. Way overpriced. I think it's cost about 350 Australian dollars when I bought it. So yes, those are the steel nib ones. Now these are my gold nib Lamy pens. So I've got the stainless steel 2000 here in an extra fine, which I really love. Love the weight of that. And I love the weight of it, even though I love the weight of the Macrolon 2000 here with the medium nib, which is one of my absolute favorite pens. I love the weight of both of them for different reasons. The weight of the 2000 Macrolon when it is posted is perfect. I think the balance of that pen is close to perfect. So that's why I love it. And then I have a Dialogue 3. Oh, I also don't have a Dialogue CC, but that might be changing a little bit later in the year. I really, really want that all black version. But yes, this retractable Dialogue 3, very nice pen, got an extra fine nib on it, which I had ground to be a little bit architect, which is really, really lovely. So that is my Lamy pen collection. You've seen it all now, over 50 pens. I've spoken a little bit about each. Now I'm going to do a writing sample with just a couple of them to show you what you can expect. Okay, so I have 5 pens we're going to write with, and we'll start with the Ballpoint here. So this is the Safari Ballpoint. Now, one of the things Lamy does is, firstly, all their converters and the cartridges and everything and the refills are all proprietary. So you've got to use Lamy brand or brands that are designed to fit Lamy. But all the ballpoints will use basically the same refill or a version of that refill for particular pens. So yes, this is the kind of action you're going to get from the Ballpoint. You can see there's very little smudge. It's not a particularly black ink, but a lot of ballpoints are. If you want a really dark black ink, then you kind of have to go to a Rollerball. So here we have the Lamy Safari Rollerball. Now this one may be slightly starting to get low. I've used it sort of a lot, and the Rollerballs don't last quite as long as the ballpoints in terms of the ink cartridge. You're just putting down a little bit more ink, but what you can see is it's considerably more black. And once again, there's a little bit of smudge on there. This is Irish paper, so it's a little bit toothy, a little bit more absorbent than, say, Clairefontaine or Tourmont River. But yes, a nice sort of black Rollerball, if not the most consistent Rollerball. Okay, But now it's fountain pen time. And once again, we'll stick with the Terrors. And we've got an extra fine nib here and Lamy black ink. This is an extra fine, as I said. This I really like. They're not super smooth, but it's not super fine. It's fine enough to be used and to be an everyday writer, but puts down enough ink that you can definitely see it's black. And you can see it's even blacker there than the Rollerball. I quite like Lamy black as an everyday black ink. Now, smudge. That's not too bad. That hadn't quite dried, but Lamy black is a pretty decent ink. Now, I wanted to show a medium, and I happen to have my medium dark lilac here, Safari, inked with Lamy dark lilac, the 2016 dark lilac. As I said, the ink here is Lamy dark lilac from 2016. You can see, firstly, this ink is beautiful, but this writes with quite a wide medium line. In comparison to the extra fine, it's very noticeable, and it writes quite wet. So those people who don't think Lamy Safaris put down a generous ink flow and things like that, I think that this goes to show that they can, but they're also not always super consistent. So across my few mediums that I've got, I think 4 were there, across the Safaris, they will all write slightly differently, both in terms of wetness and width of line. And then the last, I'll wait for that to dry before I do a smudge test. And the last pen I've got here is the Lamy 2000, which is just such an amazing fountain pen. Lamy 2000, this is the medium. It writes, that's quite broad for a medium. Like it's broader again there than the Safari, but gosh, it's a beautiful writer, and it's wet, it's consistent, it's got smooth, and the ink here is Robert Oster Thunderstorm. And isn't that ink stunning? What a great ink that is. I won't do a smudge test on that because it's not a Lamy, but that gives you an idea of the writing and the way these pens write, from the ballpoint through Rollerball through the extra fine medium and then the medium on the good old Lamy 2000 here. Now, obviously, I didn't do a writing sample with a broad, but the difference, or the calligraphy nibs, but you can watch my video where I compare all the Lamy Safari style nibs. That's an extensive, long video and really worth watching, and that one I will link to down below. I love Lamy pens. I've obviously got a lot of them in my collection for a reason, and a lot of these will be staying with me for a long time. Some of them I might continue to sort of sell or give away, but there will always be Lamys because I think they're absolutely fabulous. So that was a bit of a rundown of my Lamy collection of around 50 pens at the moment. Thanks for watching. I hope you found it interesting and useful. Please like and subscribe, hit the notifications button, all that kind of stuff. If you've got products you think I should be looking at, or if there's a way you would like to support my channel, I would love to hear from you. In the meantime, enjoy your pen, enjoy writing, and I'll talk to you soon.